Recording? We're looking at 1.7, which is introduction to perimeters, circumference, and area. Thank you. And it gives you a list of different things below that we talked about. Square, 4 times the sides, could be the perimeter. Area is the sides squared. Rectangle is 2 times length with 2 times width, which would also work for a square. Area is length times width. Perimeter of a triangle is all the sides added up. Area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Circle, circumference is 2 pi r, and area is pi r squared. So, yes, Eric.
Can you determine which one's A, B, and C on the
It doesn't matter. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and look at finding the perimeter and area of all of these. And instead of pi, we're going to use 3.14 for these. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at this triangle. First of all, let's figure out the perimeter. It's saying that that side is 13, too. I don't know if that's very clear in the picture. So we're going to go 13 plus 13 plus 10, and our perimeter is 36 inches. Our area is 1/2 base, which is 10, times height, which is 12. So we get 60 inches squared. Don't forget that's squared. Okay, I'm going to do one more easy one. We're going to do a circle. So we know that the circumference is 2 pi r, so that's 2 pi 5. And again, we're going to use 3.14 instead of pi. And we get the circumference is 31.4 inches. Area is pi r squared, so that's pi times 5 squared, or 25 times 3.14. And we're going to get area is 78.5 inches squared. Question so far? Yes?
Is that side the perimeter?
Yes, circumference is the same thing as perimeter. But we don't talk about the circumference of a rectangle. It's only circles. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do C and D, which are a little more complicated. Ow.
It doesn't fall in the butt.
Okay, it's a little more complicated because it's not a clear one shape, it's 2 shapes combined. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out the area of the rectangle for this shape. So I'm going to go 15 times 8 is going to give me the area of this, which is 120. Remember, this is 8 down here, this is 15. Now I'm going to figure out the area of that half circle. First of all, is 8 feet the diameter or the radius?
Diameter.
So what would the radius be?
4.
4. So I'm going to use pi 4 squared to find the area. So 3.14 times 4 squared. But that's not my area, right?
No.
Because that's a whole circle. So how do I find half a circle?
Cut it down.
Divide by 2. Good. So that's 25.12, and then I'm just going to add the 2 together. So the total area is 145.12 feet squared. Okay, but that's just the area. We also have to find the perimeter. So let's find the circumference of that circle on top. So I'm going to do pi 2 pi 4, and then I'm going to divide the whole thing by 2 because it's half a circle. That gives me 12.56. And then I'm going to add 15, 15, and 8. And I'm going to get that the perimeter is 50.56 feet. Am I going too fast? A little.
Just a tad.
I'll slow down. Yes.
What is the A equal? Did you say equal?
Area.
Well, no, obviously, but like, what is the after the number?
Oh, area is 145.12 feet squared. Yes.
Is that 12.56 plus 15 plus 15 plus 8?
Yes.
Why is it like that?
Okay, because 12.56 is this area right here around the circle. And then that's 15 plus 8 is 15.
Okay.
Okay, because it's as if we're walking around the outside. You guys ready for D? No? Eric?
Well, don't we have to still find the perimeter of the rectangle?
Well, I did when I added 15, 15, and 8 to it.
Oh, I see.
Okay, the first thing we're going to fill out with part D is all those little dashes mean they're all the same. So that's 2 millimeters, so is this, so is this, so is this, so is this. Okay? Yes.
On there, so the 8 is diameter.
The 8 would be the diameter, yes. So we used 4 as the radius, because half of the radius, half the diameter is the radius. Okay? Alright, so the first thing I think of is, you know what I need to know? This line right here. Okay? How am I going to find it? Pythagorean theorem, thank you. 2 squared plus 2 squared equals, we'll call it x. X squared. 2 squared plus 2 squared. 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. So we're just going to say it's the square root of 8. Okay. What do we want to find first? Area or perimeter? Area? Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do with area is I'm going to find the area of the obvious shapes. For example, that square and triangle are pretty easy. 2 times 2 is 4. So I know this area is 4. I'm going to do this a different color. This area is 4. For a rectangle, 2 times 2 is 4. Half of 4 is 2. Okay, then those circles are the hard part. Half of 2 is,
1.
so the radius here is 1. So I want to find the whole area. So I'm going to do pi r squared, or pi 1 squared. And then I'm going to divide that by 2, because I have half of a circle, which is going to be approximately 1.57. So this whole area is 1.57. Then I've got to find the area of this other circle. So first thing I'm going to do is divide the square root of 8 in half. Which is approximately 1.41. And then I'm going to times that by, square it and times it by pi and divide it by 2. So 3.14 times 1.141 squared, divide that by 2. So this is 3.12, we'll say. Now all I'm going to do is add those together. 3.12. This is messy. Okay, so I'm adding 1.57 to 4 to 2 to 3.12. This is going to be the total area.
So what's that? Like all that in red? How'd you get all that?
All this listed here?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. We're going to get 10.69 millimeters squared is our total area. Okay, the 4 comes from the square. Okay? The 2 comes from the triangle. Okay? The 1.57 is the little circle off the side. That's the area. So we took the radius is 1, we squared it, times by 3.14, divided by 2, and we get this 1.57.
And then the 3.12
Is the bigger circle. Okay. Now we got to do the perimeter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase this because I think it's going to get in my way. Okay. So let's start with a nice clean slate. Except I need to know that that radius is the square root of 8 right there. Okay. So I know this is 2, this is 2, this is 2, this is 2. That's the square root of 8. Now I'm going to find the perimeter. Okay? So the first thing thing I'm going to do is find the circumference of those circles. So I say that the radius here is 1. Radius here is the square root of 8 over 2. Okay, because we just divide it in half and that gives me the radius. So for the circumference for the little circle, I'm going to say it's 2 pi 1 over 2. So that simply gives me that the circumference for the little circle is 3.14. Okay. The circumference for this big circle is 2 pi square root of 8 over 2, all divided by 2. So that is square root of 8 divided by 2 times 3.14 times 2 divided by 2. And we're going to get that it is 4.44. Okay? So I know this is 3.14. I know this is 4.44. This is 2, this is 2, and this is 2. So now I'm just adding everything up. Saying 4.44 plus 3.14 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Okay? So we go 4.4 plus 3.14 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. And we should get 13.54 millimeters is the perimeter. I know it seems like a long time and sometimes it gets complicated, but in real life, shapes are usually the shapes that you have to deal with are not perfect rectangles or circles. Yes?
Should we get 13.58 and 64?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. 5/8. Thank you. All right, let's look at the back and we'll talk about some lovely word problems.
Story problems.
Story problem.
I hate those.
But they love you. Okay,
That's what my dad says.
you measure the radius of a car tire and find it to be 18 inches. The rim alone has a radius of 14 inches. What is the area of the outer side of the tire? Okay, so the whole tire's area is going to be, what's the radius of the whole tire? 18 inches. So if we want to find the area, we're going to go pi 18 squared. We're going to subtract the area of the rim. Okay? So that's pi with the radius of the rim. 14. And that's going to give us the total outside area of the tire. Yes?
Where would we write this down? So say after verbal model.
Verbal model would be that picture.
Do we have to write that down?
No.
So we just put this down.
You
and
can put
solve?
this wherever. Verbal model labels and solve is to try to help you make your steps to word problems. Some people find it helpful, other people find it annoying. Whichever way. So we're going to have 3.14, 18 squared gives us approximately 1,017.36. And we're subtracting that from 615.44. And we get 401.92 inches squared. So we had the radius of the whole tire, the radius of just the rim. Finding the area of both of those and subtracting them gives us the area of just the tire. Not including the rim, just the rubber. Ready to do example 3? Yes. Yes.
Why do we have to put the square when we're asking for the area?
Area deals with square because if you just are dealing with perimeter, you're just dealing with length, you're not dealing with it being the whole thing. Like when they say, a lot of times when they say carpet, they'll say, oh, how many square feet do you have? That's what they mean. Because if you were just said, oh, I have 6 feet, that just means in length.
I see, so then putting this in squares.
And then if you do volume, it's cubed. So if it's how much water will fill up a glass, you do cubed. I'm going to move on to example 3, and I will go slower.